The
supposed
first ceasefire was
ceasefires?
signed on June 19th, 2008, and it came after Israel had imposed a punishing siege on the Gaza Strip in 2007 after Hamas won free and fair elections that were ordered by then U.S. President George W. Bush, who demanded the Palestinians hold elections. And they held elections, and Hamas won. And this is in January 2006. And then the U.S. Didn't like that Hamas won, so they collaborated with Israel and the Palestinian Authority to overthrow the democratically elected Hamas government. Israel imposed a punishing siege on blockade on Gaza. Israel and Hamas exchanged tit for tat violence between 2007 until the ceasefire was signed on June 19th, 2008. Within 6 months, Amnesty said the ceasefire was working. There had basically been no violations, certainly not on the Palestinian side, until in November 2008, Israel invaded the Gaza Strip, killed 6 Palestinians in a brazen violation of the ceasefire, in addition to having not opened up the border with Gaza, between Gaza and Egypt, that it had promised to open up as part of that ceasefire deal. So there were multiple Israeli violations, no Hamas violations. And then after that violation, you get some more tit for tat exchanges of fire between Hamas and Israel, after which point Israel in December 2008 launches Operation Cast Lead, in which it slaughters about 1,400 Palestinians, including killing hundreds of Palestinian children. The vast majority of the strikes on Gaza, according to the Goldstone Report, which was the UN Commission of Inquiry led by Richard Goldstone to investigate Israel's and Palestine's war crimes, he determined that the goal of that operation was to, quote, terrorize, humiliate, and punish the civilian population of Gaza. That, of course, led to another ceasefire. Israel broke that ceasefire too. In fact, leading up to the next major war on Gaza in 2012, there were for many months, Hamas had been basically trying to formulate a permanent hudna with Israel, and they had sent already earlier drafts of the ceasefire deal to Israel. Defense minister at the time basically took interest in this. So then now we're talking November 2012. The second in command in Hamas, Ahmed Jabari, receives a draft, and he's expected to agree to the draft. Israel assassinates him just hours after he receives a draft of this agreement. That starts the next war, in which Israel kills 140 or so Palestinians, and the vast majority of whom are civilians, obviously. That leads to another ceasefire. The ceasefire that holds between 2012 and 2014, the next major war. There's been many reports in which and both sides broke that ceasefire, but Israel broke it twice as often, and especially it broke it most often during the early months, which is what led to its eventual collapse. But ultimately, it was Israel that dramatically broke that ceasefire 2x more than Hamas.